Do you need to register your company to pitch, right? So if you're pitching at an idea stage, no, there's no company. There's no need to register anything. Do not get into the hassle of registering an entity. When I say entity, neither a firm nor a company. When I say a firm, proprietorship firm, partnership firm, private limited company, do not get into the hassle of registering any sort of entity. If you're pitching in a startup competition, if you're pitching at a competition which isn't done in college or school, if you're pitching uh, in general into any business plan competition, if you're pitching to investors or anybody, but you not have revenue or a product, you're in idea stage, no need to register anything, right? Second, if you're into validation stage, no need to register. You do not need to register anything, right? You don't need to have an entity to validate or register your entire idea, right? Third is product development, right? No, registration not required. You don't need any entity while you are building the product or an MVP. So basically, for product engineers, or mechanical engineers, or designers, or coders, or techies, can sit in a room, build a product, register a domain, build a website, build a tech product, build a hardware product, but they need not have an entity. Now comes the revenue part, which is stage number 4. You start making some sort of money. Now it can be yes or no. If you are only into a stage where you are only getting revenue, which is very little, which is very minuscule, uh, or and you do not need to have a proper setup, or you're pitching only to a few clients where from where some money will come and your and the kind of job will be done, right? Or you're a services company or a consultancy company or maybe even a product company, you can always build things on your own name, right? There's no need to have a registered entity at this stage. Max, you can have an entity which is a firm and not a company, right? I hope this clarifies. So no need to have, so either you can bill in your own name or you need not have a company, you can have a firm. Stage number 5, scale oblique growth. This is where you rapidly start scaling, right? You go and meet multiple clients, you have money coming in, you have investors getting onto you, or you're pitching for investment. This is a stage where you may or may not again have an entity, or you may not, sorry, you again may or may not have an entity. So this is a stage where you can either have an entity in terms of a firm, or you can have a company, right? Now, if you're pitching to the investors, and if you are a firm, you can convert this firm into a company maybe overnight, or once you have a commitment from investors. So if it's a company, which is a privately limited company, investors can come directly on board. It's a good idea. You can do that, right? If not, the firm can be converted into a company, or rather, technically, a new company can be opened up, and the firm can be absorbed. A chartered accountant or a finance professional can answer that question in a better way. But the point is, this is where you might need a company, or a firm, or an entity. Last but not the least, exit stage, right? IPO stage. This is where you need to have a firm or a company. Most importantly, a company. A firm will not work here. So this is very important to understand, because a lot of times I see young entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs getting a private limited company registered. And the problem is, the moment you have a private limited company registered, the liabilities and the issues and the compliance associated with that company comes on top of you. And if that company shuts down, if the startup shuts down, if that idea does not work, you are in deep shit, my friend. You are in deep trouble, because then shutting down the company will take another chunk of money and is troublesome. So the bottom line is, only and only register a company or an entity when you're extremely sure that things have started rolling out and everything is hunky dory, and you have substantial revenues and money coming in. If you're a freelancer, if you're a consultant, or if you are into a space you are providing services in general, I think any which ways you don't need a firm to kind of get started onto your entrepreneurial journey. You can simply bill in your own name, and I think the job will be done. So this is how the entire ecosystem, especially in India, works.